Welcome back folks, and I hope you're still having a lovely day. And this month we're at the Duthie Park in the David Welsh Winter Gardens. And this month I'll be showing you about turf maintenance, grass cutting rules and plug plants. At this time of year, we'll be looking at some lawn maintenance and grass cutting rules. Obviously with the weather improving, you'll be getting the old lawnmower out the shed. And this time of year, you'll be wanting to set your lawnmower to the highest height. This is to promote the grass growth by just tipping it, giving it more lush cut. You'll hopefully be cutting on a 7 to 10 day cycle, getting a couple of cuts in at this height. Then every couple of weeks, lowering it down to the next gradient if possible, until you get to the lowest cut for summer. And then after summer, do the exact same but in the opposite way, raising the cut up into the end of autumn. You might hear people talking about direction of cut, and there's a good reason for it. Most people cut the grass straight up, turn, come down the next bit next to it, which is fine. That's what people are trying to do to get their stripe. But what you have to remember is, when you're pushing the mower, you're actually pushing and cutting the grass in one direction. So it's best to alternate cuts. So if you cut that way one week, change your direction the next week. So if you've went up the grass, you then come down it the week after. Also, if possible, cut horizontally, vertical and diagonal lines. On a 70-day cycle, this will promote the growth in many directions rather than just in one, to give you a more lusher look throughout the year. And always remember, even domestic mowers are quite noisy, so always wear ear protection. In this section we'll be talking about lawn care, specifically dealing with moss. Moss is a massive problem in Aberdeen due to its beautiful weather. The wet conditions promotes the growth of moss, and obviously all other problems with drainage and such forth as well. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips on how to keep on top of your moss, win the fight against it. One of our viewers is sending some pictures of his moss, and this is obviously going to help him out on how to deal with it. From April till September in the grass growing season, you can add a 3-in-1 lawn feed, moss killer and weed killer. You first do this by cutting your grass as low as possible. You measure your grass area out and work out the grammage for the recommendation by the manufacturer. To get the best results, do on a damp, dull day. This is so it sticks to the grass and washes in. You'll pour it into a bucket or something to spread it by hand. Spread over area. If it doesn't rain in the next 24 hours, you'll have to water the whole grass area to let the agent work into the ground. Give it at least 7 days to start working. After this 7 days, hopefully you'll start seeing patches of black on your grass. Don't get worried, this is a good sign. This means that the moss and weeds have started to die. In the next part, you're going to need a bit of elbow grease, but cutting the grass low enough should help you out with that. What you need is a long tooth rake to rake out all the moss and weeds between the grass. Once you've raked all your clippings, collect them and put them in your brown bin. And what you could be left with is small areas where the grass isn't growing anymore because the moss has been removed. And what you should do now is get yourself some grass seed and overseed the area. Overseeding is when you throw grass seed on an already existing lawn. But always remember with overseeding not to just throw the seed down on the patches that you're trying to fix. You have to seed the whole lawn, as grass seed isn't always the same colour, and you don't want one part looking light green and the next part looking dark green. Another problem with moss could be poor drainage, with bad soil conditions or just compaction of the grass. The best way to deal with this is aeration. I know it sounds pretty cool, but it's actually very simple at heart. You'll be doing it with a garden fork. Aeration is just improving the root system with pumping more air and water into it. What's happened is the compaction under the soil has left the grass roots to only go half the distance or very shallow. So what you'll be doing is taking your fork, pushing it down as far as you can, giving a little swirl down to open the ground and pulling it back out. Do this in sections, working your way back or side to side. Anyone can help you with this job, young or old. The Duthie Park was donated by Lady Elizabeth Duthie in 1881. It consists of 44 acres of land that has ponds, multiple play parks, herbaceous borders, a community garden, cafes, and if it isn't a great day, there's always the David Welsh Winter Gardens. And the David Welsh Winter Gardens is broken into many sections. In the main corridor, you can even find fish and banana plants. In the winter gardens, the bedding plants are changed due to season, so you might see 3 different plants in one year. In this section of the gardens, it's like a scene out of Jurassic Park, with all the different ferns that grow here in the fern house. You can also take in the lovely scents in the scented corridor, with the jasmine, eucalyptus and pelargoniums. You can also visit the temperate house and see the terrapins. This is the oldest part of the David Welsh Winter Gardens, the Victorian corridor. Come here to see the pot plants and the baskets with colour all year round. If you thought the fern house was cool because it looked like Jurassic Park, in here is like a jungle. It's a tropical house. It's even that hot, it's steaming up the camera. And in the arid house, the David Welsh Winter Gardens, it has the biggest collection of cactuses and succulents in the northeast of Scotland. I also heard they've got the world's only talking cactus, but you have to look to find it.
Hello, my name is Spike, and it's true I am the world's only talking cactus, I think. The Duthie Park is a fantastic place to visit, and during the year there are tons of things happening here. There is an open-air opera concert, a Clydesdale horse show, and the Friends of Duthie Park even have a family fun day. And of course there's me. So the next time you visit Duthie Park, don't bother with that McPiddick the frog. You'll not get much out of him. Ask one of the friendly staff for Spike and stop and pass for a wee blether, and I'll see you soon.
Hello and welcome to the greenhouse at David Welsh Winter Gardens for the Park Rangers classroom.
Hi, my name's Claire. I'm the Park Ranger here at Duthie Park. We're a small team and we do lots of work with schools from across the city, from nursery age groups right up to P7s, and it's a total variety from maybe working in here in the glasshouse learning about plants and how they grow, to out in the park learning about trees and doing pond dipping as well. This week we will be doing plug planting, and it's all about giving them a little bit more space. Obviously they've been in their small sets and it's now time to put them into their larger 6-packs so they have the space to grow.
And luckily enough today, I'll be helping them out by doing some of the begonias into cell trays of 6. This is a begonia, big whopper red bronze, and it will grow to quite a large begonia for the summer. And obviously what you'll do is you'll plant them up in your 6 cell trays, look after them in a cold frame or a greenhouse still, and then slowly harden them off. And then plant them in your beds for the summer. Harden off is a process where you take the plant out slowly throughout the day to let it get adjusted to the climate outside, taking the plant inside at night. You do this for a couple of weeks process until the plant can stay outside. Obviously at the beginning of May there's quite a lot of frosts, so you don't want to keep them out overnight.
This week we're doing something special in particular. We've been working with a few schools on our school flower bed competition.
Well, first I'll be filling my seed tray with some soil, compost even. Taking the begonia from the seed tray, being very careful, pressing underneath the cell tray in the middle hole. You can use a pencil for this. Pushing it up, carefully holding it just underneath the leaves, placing the begonia in the cell tray, and filling up the soil so it's level all round. Plug plants are really the growing medium between sowing the seed and buying the plant itself in the store once it's fully grown. What is the benefits of plug plants? Plug plants come in sets of 24, 56, 84s, and you can even get 48s as well. What it is, it's a cheaper option than actually buying them in the store when they're fully grown, but it isn't as cost effective as growing it from seed. The plug plants are grown by professional gardeners or growers in greenhouses. And the benefits are, you get your plant, it's healthy, it's got a great root system, and all you have to do is a little bit of maintenance, putting it into the cell trays, growing them on, hardening them off, and you'll get a stronger plant come planting season than the ones you buy straight from the store.
Now that we've planted up the cells, the next step is get them outside into the cold frame. So we have cold frames out the back of the David Welsh Winter Gardens, so we'll be taking them out there and popping them in.
You can also keep them inside on your windowsill or in a greenhouse. This will be a few weeks while you're hardening them off during the day.
I gave up looking for this talking cactus. I think I'll answer the question from the viewers about daffodils.
And remember, if you do visit the cactus house, Don't touch any of my cactus pals, because they are sometimes spiky and can hurt. Cheery bye!
One of the questions that's been put to me is about narcissus, or commonly known as daffodils and daffs. What it is people want to know what to do with their daffs this time of year. Obviously your daffs are starting to die down, they either look like this or completely gone like this one. The best thing to do is to leave your daff in the ground for as long as possible. Don't trim it, don't touch it at all. You want to wait until the leaves almost go crispy. This means that the sap is all dropped down from the flower back into the bulb, giving the bulb more the sap and the power to produce next year. If you don't do this, your bulb will go blind, which means next year it'll produce leaves but no flower. That's the end for this month, and hopefully we'll all learn something. And I'll see you again next month. Remember, gardening's all about growing, so let's grow together.